yes, than this
Yeah,
map on T side.
yeah, it's not easy. Inferno is stand behind a smoke for a minute and 15 seconds, and then execute.
Yep, so I have to see if ROCCAT have that in the back pocket. Infinity starting on CT, which in itself could prove to be disastrous for ROCCAT. We're talking before they coming into this, Infinity probably going to be the favourites to take Inferno. So the fact they're starting on CT, this could be incredibly detrimental to the health of ROCCAT collectively. And that is the first frag. Hugely aggressive push through mid from Infinity. 3 or 4 players strong. They do get the bomb dropped. 8 Arwin now coming up through into Apps. Misses a couple of opportunities. He can hear something to his left-hand side. He misses that frag as well. So that's going to take us to a 3-on-3. Jazar can hear movement in Apps. So he's got a pretty good idea of where this push is coming in. You can see Lundi rotating all the way around. They have this 3-man crossfire on to Boiler. Pyroman picks up the first one. Here we go. The rush back towards the B side. Khan walks into the crosshairs of Lundi. Finally gets that kill, albeit a tiny bit laboured. He's going to leave Azmax all by himself. Lundi connects the headshot. And Infinity pick up that huge pistol round, which is going to put ROCCAT now in an even worse position than before.
Yeah, the ROCCAT had opportunities to get out of that. They just had to hit shots, but ultimately, when Infinity were able to get away with taking mid that quickly, they had so much information. Like, there were 3 players from ROCCAT and Apps, and literally every exit of Apps was being watched by a player, so there was no opportunity to catch all 3 of them off guard. Now, they were almost able to get down mid. Lindy obviously hit his shots and denied that from being a possibility, but the rotates would have came out so soon that, Infinity really did have a good grasp on that round for the majority of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Azlak again, saving up, looking for the earlier AWP, while the rest of his team go for that force buy. Not really paying out for them at this point. Just 2 players remain. Make that just Khan, hiding in the smoke. He's going to get the first one with the Tech 9. And a second as well, so he's making this a tiny bit more painful than the CTs were hoping for. If he can get this third frag, job done for him, but unfortunately for ROCCAT, it's going to be the 2-0. 3 players left alive in this round, so ROCCAT now are likely going to be on an eco.
Yeah, and Infinity, it's so important when you have like a CT-sided map to win that CT pistol, because those 3 rounds are so much harder to come by as a terrorist later on, so sometimes that can be the map over, and I don't want to call it too soon, but Infinity off to a great start. ROCCAT obviously going to be on a save now, and Infinity definitely passed the first test, but are going to be getting aggressive Banana. I mean, I hope for their sake that they don't get punished for it.
Very aggressive through Banana, but Arwin is going to get the first frag onto Zate, so the aggression definitely paying out. And now opting for a very aggressive position as well, like hiding around the corner just behind the little raised platform, going into tunnels afterwards. He could have got shot in the back a couple times there, but the T's playing a bit too passively for that opportunity. Kind of just passes them by. Arwin goes in for second, spamming through the smoke. Sonny hasn't ate any bullets just yet, but his position is known. And the CT's almost playing like the T's on this map, like they're the more aggressive team, which is pretty interesting. It makes for entertaining viewership, but ROCCAT are just being destroyed.
Yeah, people are so afraid to go up against armor bias versus terrorist players that you can almost like anticipate as a terrorist team, if a team has respect for you, that they're going to let you do what you want on your eco round, because all they have to do is play passive and hit shots. But I really like actually going aggressive, because sometimes you bring it down to an execute and a couple of lucky entries happen from a Tech 9 and the round's over because your rotates are too slow. Whereas if you can get away with finding the early picks, using your peek as advantage, early nade damage, and then gaining map control, there's really a lot less chance of kind of an upset happening on an eco round. So I kind of like that style that we see from Infinity, and even ROCCAT are doing it too, where they're getting aggressive on their CT sides early on. But there's a couple of opening picks that I just missed.
Yeah, and both AWPs. You've got 2 AWPs now for Infinity. Jazar and Arwin. Now, Dust 2 or Cash, I can understand it. Inferno, I guess. I mean, what's your thoughts on double AWP setups on the CT side?
Never... I think every team that I've ever played on, it's kind of like... No matter what IGL it is, I think they've always said, don't buy the op. If we're winning a lot of rounds, pick the op up. Because Inferno's a map where you don't need an op to win it, but it's also friendly to really good oppers. Buying 2, I definitely would not have expected that, but it turns out to be really good for them. I feel like ROCCAT are scared right now. I mean, this is going to be a tough adjustment to deal with.
Yeah, definitely. And the thing is, they both got peaked. Like, both AWPers peaked down banana and mid, respectively, and got 2 frags. So just like that, ROCCAT are instantly, you know, against the ropes, swinging for dear life. And so far, Infinity are keeping this advantage. Jazar's picked up one of those AWPs, or kept one of those AWPs, I should say, and he's in the library.
Whoa.
Weird. Weird decision making, I think. So, they're on the site. Khan is doing damage, at least, behind the box. 10 seconds to play with. I think he's going to get this bomb down, and that's probably more than ROCCAT were hoping for in this round, honestly. In part to an odd little passage of play from Library, Jazar in particular. Molotovs all over the board. It's that noise going to smoke screen.
Oh my god. I'm done.
How did ROCCAT win that round?
Because
if I just leave.
No, let's just leave. So Jazar is in library. He's a player in pit angled out watching Boiler come up. And Jazar is in library, meant to hold off Arch, instead is looking down lane at Boiler, trying to get like the... He would have even... There's no way he would have gotten a pick even before the pit guy. Couldn't watch it for him. Pit guy wasn't watching abs. And then angles out to Archway and like tries to no-scope instead of hiding and re-scoping and cutting off the angle. And then they lose the round. And they lose 2 off. And they got... That was 3v5.
Oh man. I don't even.
Is that about right?
You sound like you nailed it there. It hurt me to hear it back because of how dumb it was.
That was bad.
Pretty bad, yeah, pretty bad. And that gives ROCCAT a lifeline. You know, it goes from being a 4-0 with them, maybe even on a force buy or crappy couple of assault rifles, to now right back in this game with Infinity. After that double AWP pickup, you know, that's another reason why it's not a great idea, because it's very expensive and now on Eco. So this could now be 3-on-2. Oh man, that mistake could really cost Infinity huge, actually.
Yeah, you cannot give up rounds like that on CT side. And it's cost them a save, yeah. It's like, they have a free entrance to B site, almost certainly going to win this round.
A free AWP across to Aslak as well. He's a guy who desperately wants this. It's the reason why he saved the first couple of rounds, you know, didn't go for the Tech 9 armor with the rest of his team. So just, there's so many positives that ROCCAT got out of that round. I mean, take nothing away from Khan, he still did the best of what he could. You know, he still picked up a 4-man in that round, but he simply shouldn't have been given the opportunity to do so. Bomb's been planted now, and Infinity is kind of chilling back. Maybe want to save up some of these pistols. I mean, they've got a Deagle, $700 worth. Got a Tech 9 and a 5.7. He's still worth a bit of cash, and the chance of retaking with only a flashbang and no armor or defuse kits is pretty much 0.
Yeah. Wow, it's actually getting... Wow, he just got destroyed in CT. But, yeah, Infinity really just have to regroup now. They won't have the option to opt next round either. Like, maybe one person will, but certainly not 2. And it looks like a couple players are actually still low. I mean, I can't imagine they won't buy, but... Glass cannon at most, and I doubt they'll want to. You really don't need an op on this map as a CT. And, oh my goodness, they're half saving. Oh, they actually are. I wouldn't have anticipated that. Now, the utility from nades is really worthwhile to have on Inferno, right? Having 5 smokes is crucial. Molotovs go a long way on these narrow passages, but again, giving up rounds is not a comfortable position to be in. And just because you lose the first rifle round after winning a pistol on the 2 anti-ecos, having the double save shouldn't really happen, but it is going to come down to the fact that they spent so much money on ops, I suppose.
Yeah, that's well over $9,000, you know, on AWPs that just didn't really pay out for them. They got the first 2 frags, and from there on in it was all ROCCAT. So this round, with the kind of half save, Arwian is going to get a nice P250 headshot onto Khan as he tries to cross. The bomb is snaking its way up to B, though, and has the escort of Zate there with him. And it's just Davin on the site all by his lonesome with the USB. Good luck, sir. I do not envy his position here. It's a decent weapon, a pistol rounds, not so much when there's full armor against you. Flashbang through. It has landed pretty nicely on a couple of players. 35 seconds. Here comes the quick rotation from Arwian. Can he at least get 1 frag? 1 frag would have been his job done, but that's not going to happen. AK in the hands of Arwian still is looking to push on in. They've got enough funds to get weapons whatever happens, so they may try and do a bit of damage if they can onto ROCCAT, but they must realise that ROCCAT's economy is going to be able to sustain their AKs coming forward, whatever happens here. But Arwian, you know, now he's pretty much a goner. Even if he gets this frag, he's on 4 HP, he has to cross. Oh no, actually, it's the AWP still for Aslak, and he's still going for this. He wants to take that AWP away from him. He'll be backing away with the AK-47. There's a chance he may get AWP'd on the cross, though, back to CT Spawn. He's got no smoke to cover himself. And he looks for the exit frags. Was picked up from Aslak. This bomb could still kill Sunny, though. And it will. It knocks Aslak down to 1 HP.
Oh my goodness, he actually lives with that off. That's enormous. You would have expected him to die 100% there. All I think Awian wanted to do was keep him in the site, and he was doing a pretty good job of it. And ends up being an op saves. Wow.
2 AWPs again on CT side.
Oh my goodness, they're doing it again. I guess they really, maybe they just have, they have just tried this setup and it's been really successful. But if they don't win out, I mean, this double saving, like after winning after losing 1 rifle, it really, like the scoreline does not make it seem like Infinity won a pistol here and only lost 1 rifle round.
Is if this was like Dust 2 or Cash and they went for that double save, I'd be like, cool, they're going for double ops. I understand that play. Yeah. Inferno, I really don't, because you said this before, as a T, what you're looking to do is throw smokes, hide behind the smokes, and maybe push in. That is pretty difficult to deal with if you're an AWPer. If you get like a set play onto a site which completely blocks off your vision, there's not much you can do from that. However, if they just push out like this, Jazar is going to get frags. Sonny thought about re-peeking him. That would have been a mistake, and he decides to back on off. So far, so good for an Infinity in their second double AWP fire round. And there we go, Jazar does connect it onto Karn.
Yeah, that's just a dry peek from Karn.
There is an element of deja vu here, Launders, because this is a very similar situation to what we saw last time, and then Derp was had.
Yeah, that was Jazar, though.
That's true. Here comes the push. And Davin goes down, did do significant damage to Zarte. There's the shot from Arwian, looking for a second, can't quite connect it. The bomb is being planted in the middle of that smoke in the meanwhile. Nice no-scope to the forehead of Aslak. He gets completely crunched down. And Sunny somehow got his way through the smoke, gets the next kill. 3 more players, no one's on the site just yet. But that smoke is going to make things really difficult for him. He's trying to listen out for this. He's lining up for him for a second, and he does get the kill. He's looking for another one. He could just keep tapping across. Oh, it's going to be a defuse. I thought for a second we were going to see a sick play from Sunny.
What a legend. He just lined that up so nicely. He was so confident, too. Just had that, like, perfectly spotted. I mean, Exodus was listening for the bomb, knew exactly where it was planted. Man, he almost won that. That was beautiful. But either way, I think Alien probably should have died there, Aslak. And him had a whiff battle at Spools. And Infinity do come away with a round. They managed to save both their ops. Edgeman is on a FAMAS. And, you know, when all is said and done, if Infinity continue to make the most of the setup and don't lose, they still have the potential for a 12-3. I think that would have been easier to say if they didn't lose so many rounds so early.
Maybe just playing to the weaknesses of ROCCAT, because, like, honestly, ROCCAT haven't played too many set pieces so far. Which is, for me, what could really highlight the vulnerabilities of this double AWP setup. So if Infinity feel like ROCCAT aren't quite on point enough to really brutalize them, this could carry on being the case. They could keep going for these double AWPs.
I don't like this, that they... I don't like that they have 2 ops at A right now, with 3 players here and 1 FAMAS at B, when they have an op at A, so you don't need to stack. Like, you have, like, really heavy hitters at both sides, and they can really lock down angles. I mean, if they know it's going to be A, then that makes sense, but the bomb's over at Banana, so I don't know what their read is.
It's a very good point. This does make B that little bit more vulnerable. I mean, maybe they have total trust in David, but he's on 2 for 5 right now. He's not exactly firing on all cylinders. But here comes the rotate from the Terrorists with 24 seconds to play with. 3 Banana back up A again. So that A stack is now coming back to fruition. 3 players going on to A. If they just push B, it probably was a clear-cut round. Arwian is missing the first opportunity, and the second one as well, but there's Pyroman on the site with the M4. Opens up 10 seconds, the bomb's been dropped, and a horrific position for the Terrorists on top of the box. And that in itself will probably just seal the fate of this round. They don't have enough time to plan. Well, that is round 8 going to Infinity, and they will be 5-3 up, and they do manage to save one of the ops as well.
Yeah, they do actually come away with it, and ROCCAT did run right into them as I think Lundy with the op was actually making his way in and out of the site, but came back to Arch just in time. So yeah, must They've definitely had a good read there. I'm not sure if there was a sound cue or not, but either way, they do put around on the board. Alien actually only has a Mag 7, so the money has consistently been low. But this is a great opportunity for Infinity to come away with a round, not lose many players, and really be able to fund the guns they want, because there's only a single M4 for them.
There definitely is an opportunity to maybe burst on through onto B. No one's going to check the spot behind sandbags. That's going to lose at least 2 players' lives. Make that 3. He's looking for a 4th. This is so much money in the bank as well for Arwian. Can he survive this round though? Intact. Yes, he can. Another headshot onto Zate. Picks up an AK-47. Beautiful play from him, and Pyroman seals it up nicely onto Reflexy. 15 for 5, by the way, for Arwian. So, I mean, we've just had so many good individual performances in this best of 3 already.
Yeah, he's immediately going to pick up that second op, so it seems like they really rely on the setup quite a bit. And we've seen a little bit of a couple of misplays with the setup that they've had, but I guess have made it work for the most part. I think most telling would be right now to see if ROCCAT are going to first anticipate these ops, and second, how they're going to deal with them. Because like the dry peeking boiler to try to trade out with the headshot is not working, and yeah, there's Owen with a pick on banana that really gives them a lot of information and a man advantage. So hard to win around on T side 4v5.
Oh, definitely. Unless they can get a couple of like really slick entry frags, and the chances just dwindle as each second passes for ROCCAT, especially with this double up. But the CTs continue to play this way. It's very difficult to see how ROCCAT are going to get many more than 3 rounds here. I mean, I think the rounds they've got have been just through mistakes from Infinity more than their like individual sick plays.
Yeah, two ops at A again. Just switching out a player at B so that they can have both ops at A. So they do really just want to have 2 ops at A at all times, apart from the opening picks. Let's see how it plays out.
ROCCAT have been very slow, so I guess that plays into the strength of the AWP. You know, if they go single file through onto you, can just get frag after frag after frag. Not too many explosive strats here from ROCCAT. There's the flashbang, looking for the pop flash through onto the Archers. Jason misses the first shot, does get the second, but gets traded out almost instantly. Arwian now from pit. That's a nice smoke. It's like they've called this one already, but Arwian had a small crack in that smoke, and he converted it into a frag. 2-on-2 now. The bomb will be planted. 10 seconds on the timer. Uzi just runs around the corner, gets the frag somehow. Probably should have done better from there, from Khan's perspective, especially after his sick 4-man earlier on. And that's all on Aslak, and He's got a player to his right-hand side from short, one to his left on Archers as well, and it's Davin who puts him down and gives Infinity their 7th round. They're going to be able to pick up at least, in fact, both of these AWPs, because the second one's in library, right? Yes, they get both of the AWPs back as well.
It's crazy how they really want to have these 2 ops, but it is working out. Like they got 3 out of 5 picks there with ops. Now their offers and situations versus the execute only got 1 kill apiece, and both missed their first shot. So this can be liabilities, and ROCCAT only need a certain amount of T rounds to exploit that fact. But it seems like they've definitely thought about their setup and want to stick to it. And again, yeah, Infinity coming off a huge map win, coming into this with a pretty good ratio at this point. I guess almost warranting your double save.
Well, it certainly is. It was such a high risk, high reward as well, because if they get battered after getting that double saving for double off, I mean, things could get really bad real quick for them. But this round still isn't over just yet. ROCCAT consistently took us down to these kind of 2v2s.
It's true.
And again, that's not quite on point. That's all Arwian needed. Just a small glimmer of Reflexy was enough to convert that frag. It's important as well that at least one of these two has themselves an M4. If they both charge him with AWPs, I mean, that could very well just give Sunny the 1-on-2 clutch. But here we go. Devin coming from behind, from short, making noise. There's the first frag. Sunny got that clean, but Davin threw the box in the head. He's going to get this defuse. We'll pick up the AWP and also give Infinity their 8th round. So 8-3 now.
A lot of close rounds. Yeah, another 2v2. That really should have gone the way of ROCCAT, but it was his own arch smoke that ended up being the reason that he died from pit. I'm not sure why he even wanted to cross. Was he in pit, or was he trying to cross to pit? No, he was in pit, right?
Yeah, I believe so, yeah.
That's kind of weird then.
ROCCAT, though, because they're getting these bombs down in the last 5 rounds, they've planted 3 times. They, again, can get themselves AKs with that round loss bonus and a pretty hearty buy as well. But look at this Arwian with 2, and Jazar again with the other one. So they're making this double AWP setup really pay out for them. Constantly getting the opening picks, and now it's all on Reflexy. He was in apps. He still is, just peeking out a mid and right into the sights of Jazar, who puts him down. Easy round again.
Yeah. I'd say there's about 3 rounds where ROCCAT could have easily won. I'd say 1 they should have won and made just a positional mistake. 1 there was, you know, a failure to trade when they had a good position in a 2v2, and another that was obviously very close in the same way at a. Yeah. With that being said, Infinity do have the results to back up what they're trying to do, and even though the rounds come down to 2v2s, are able to get 2 to 3 op kills, right, every single time consistently. So now we have an aggressive push into apps to seal up this round. That's going to be a save. That's going to get them their 10th, which might even be enough. And this might be a potential for a huge upset in this best of 3.
Yeah, a lot of people, I mean, what was it? 81, 85%, something like that to ROCCAT on CSGO Launch, I think. Yeah. So this is the kind of map that a lot of people, well, not the map necessarily, the best of 3, a lot of people thought ROCCAT had in the bag. I did as well, I'll be honest. I put my hands up. I was kind of writing Infinity off getting into this game, but they've really been performing fantastically well. And they do get that 10th round, as you mentioned. This very well could be enough, and there's still 2 more rounds to play, so who knows, maybe we'll get the 12-3 half once more.
Let's see, there's 2 more rounds. Infinity. I wonder if they lose, will they be able to... I mean, though, if they lose, a couple players will be a little bit low, and they might have to just drop. They'd probably be able to afford 1 op again. And ROCCAT will look for a maximum of... Oh, they're trying to answer back with an op for the first time, as like actually grabbing one for himself, but looking at a potential of 5 rounds in total. I wonder if the op will be able to take an aggressive peek and find a pick for himself. If that's the change that needed to happen. But in my opinion, they just had to stop giving away opening picks so easily. Like, they kept dying to Banana. I mean, at the first few rounds, like, you wouldn't anticipate Infinity to maybe rebuy 2 ops, right, over and over again. And so that probably caught them off guard when they would just come up to Banana and peek the bottom of it. But going into these later rounds, they're fully aware of what they have in store for them. So I think ROCCAT need to make sure that they're smoking stuff off, getting as close as possible, and then executing, because that's the way to neutralize these offers and their advantages. Zarte going to be dry peeking into Banana and falling off. So it looks like a lot of pressure over towards A, as we have 3 over towards B.
No, I fully agree with you. I think you have to play to the weaknesses of the AWP, and that's up in the grill of them. You know, it's close range, claustrophobic environments. But so far, ROCCAT have just failed to do that. I don't know if it's like a lack of strats, or a lack of knowing what to do. Maybe on Inferno, if this isn't a map that they play a whole bunch, but in Infinity, their strats are just being untested right now, honestly. Lundy's on the bomb, he knows that this is going to be a fast push. Doesn't get the upper hand onto Sunny, that could prove to be pretty big, but there's Pyromon in pit this time. They have more than just the 1 M4 on the site. 2 AWPs weren't here today, but there's Jazar from Libraries, consistently been in this position. Aslak's down to 23. He's going to be pushing in right now onto Archis. Does get the frag onto Jazar, and the second as well onto Aslak. This is much more like it from him. Another very quiet, slow map for him. And, well, he seals it up with his 3rd. That's a huge frag, and potentially a huge round as well for ROCCAT.
Yeah, that was huge. Again, let's see. They go into this round. They could. No, Desmond's got to drop a rifle. Jazar can on if they want to. It looks like they will. Okay, Desmond's or Jazar's gonna want to drop as well. So just 5 rifles, right? Oh, actually, Thomas and a Mag 7. So this might be a little bit of a change of pace for Infinity. They might not be used to this, obviously, relying on their off setups. I wonder how that'll affect them. This last round is very crucial, I think, for both teams, especially Infinity.
Oh yeah. I think the other thing as well is maybe this will catch ROCCAT off guard, because they're so used to the CTs playing passive with 2 AWPs that suddenly having a Max 7 in apps and maybe a FAMAS pushing aggressively, like, really may get round the back of them, get under their skin a tiny bit. I think they may have just spotted Lundy in apps there, made a bit of noise. So it may very well have given away that particular strat, but you can now see again the moving from, like, typically in Infinity we're hiding in pit and kind of like back in library, this time more aggressively up through mid, through short, and also on Archer's side of mid. So I like the little change up from Infinity, and they have got the first frag here as well. 50 seconds to play with smokes have descended on mid. They have just dissipated though. Jazar gets flashbanged. He's going to go for the repeat. Comes out second best against Reflex. He's down to 50. So that's a good trade for the terrorists. But again, they're in Banana. This has happened so many times that I look across the Banana. There's 3 players in there up against 1 player of Infinity, and they never push through. Like, they're too scared almost.
That's true. I mean, Deshman's also done a great job of delaying his smoke long enough. It looks like they're going to full execute through him. Ground flash though. Oh, he's going to eat that.
I couldn't see it because of the smoke, I believe, but you gotta kind of expect that, I suppose. Khan gets the first 2 frags in this exchange, which does dissect B nicely for the T's. They will get the bomb plant as well. And of course, it's the last round of the half, so there's no point trying to save these weapons. Pyroman has a pretty rough situation ahead of him. A 4-on-1, and it's not going to happen. Azlak really starts to wake up towards the second quarter of this map. 10-5. It still could be more than enough for Infinity, but that does give ROCCAT the fighting chance.
Yeah. I wonder if Infinity would have been able to surmise any half close to this without their ops, because the rounds were so close with them that I don't think they won any rounds where they didn't have an op. Like, I didn't have 2 ops, I guess, specifically. The first rifle round that they lost, they double saved. They ended up buying... They had a rifle buy... I guess they only had a rifle buy once the entire time, and lost the first round that they tried to double op. So... I might be wrong about that, but either way, they haven't won a round where they only had 5 rifles, and I guess they just don't have the proper setups for it. Don't feel comfortable doing so. Maybe don't like the map too much in general, because you need to be a lot more comfortable than that on CT side. But on that last round, I think you got to anticipate a ground flash. It's so common on a full execute through a smoke. That's why Happy always like pushes up close to the smoke so that if he eats a ground flash, he can run through it.
Yeah, anticipation is the key word there, I think. Look at this. Sarte! How did he manage to get 2 frags there? He was stood in the middle of 4 T players. Wow. Okay, that just happened. ROCCAT do get the CT round they were looking for on the pistol, so that's a great plus for them, but man oh man, Zarte can count his lucky stars for that one.
Yeah, suddenly I don't know if Infinity... losing that pistol is enormous. Like, if they won that pistol, I'd say it'd still be hard for them to win, because they gave up those 5 rounds after having a fairly strong lead. But losing those last 2 rounds in a row and then losing a pistol is actually huge. ROCCAT are definitely going to have an edge, I think, in this half.
Just curious to see how Infinity are going to approach their T side. They're just going to be executes. I mean, I think the terror is going to be real if they try and run a double up setup on T side. I think I may actually just leave the building.
No, that's... yeah.
that's too far. That's way too far.
I'm pulling my Ethernet.
I wouldn't even blame him. But Azlak has got the first kill, so it's important that ROCCAT not only win the pistol, but keep it going forward and get the anti-eco out the way as well. And so far, so good for them. Deagle in the hand of Jazar. This guy is very solid with the weapon. We've already seen him pull off a couple nice frags with it, but the fact his teammate just died right in front of him may deter him from pushing through just yet. Once that smoke pushes, I think he's going to start to go in. Nice headshot onto Zarte. Pretty obvious position. I'm a bit surprised that they didn't have a crossfire down at the very least to stop that from happening. He's still hiding on the site though with Sunny. And he's going to get the frag as a result of his patience. He will fall down, but then Azlak's there to seal the 17th round for ROCCAT. 10-7.
Yep. 10-7. The beginning of the end? Question mark. Infinity going to be at 3k apiece. Most likely going to buy next round. Can opt to upgrade something. And oh, actually, we'll just be early buying with the Galil. So this is going to be up against 3 M4s. I don't know if they actually have an advantage in this round. Typically, you early buy it, you expect the other team to have stuck to SMGs, but they knocked down enough players that the rebuys are going to come out. So I'm not sure if that's the best decision. You understand what I mean? Like, if you someone keeps 5 players alive on the CT side, then they have like all their SMGs and they're expecting another save, then they're gonna stick with those SMGs, and then you pull out the early buy with the Galils. But see, the M4s are so much better than your Galils.
Yeah, I totally understand what you mean. It's like trying to... It's a different aspect to mind games, just an economic one.
Yeah.
You know, trying to get the upper hand, play that mental game of chess and CS, and put your enemy into a position that you want them to be in. But ROCCAT, I mean, that's a great hold again.
Yeah, the issue was that, or the reason I don't think it was like I don't know. I don't think that was a great idea for Infinity, just because they got so many kills in the round previous that, like, if you get kills on SMGs, then they're almost certainly going to upgrade to M4s, and then you're at a severe disadvantage. But I'm not sure what it would look like from their perspective.
I suppose the worrying thing for Infinity now is that suddenly that 5-round buffer has became 2 and will be 1 very, very shortly, more than likely. So the pressure is going to be mounting, and then ROCCAT on the CT side, a lot of their issues were maybe being a bit too slow, a bit indecisive on the C side, not having great executes down. Not as much of an issue on the CT side, honestly. As long as you have the crossfires, you should be good to go on Inferno. So I feel like that may play into the style of ROCCAT a tiny bit more. Now Infinity, it's their job to start going for broke. You know, it's their job to start forcing the issue, pushing the envelope. This round they're taking all the damage though. As expected, it is pretty much P250s with a Glock and a Deagle. They just switch one of those Glocks out for a P250 in the end. So decent upgraded pistols, but it's going to be nothing more than that. Azlac missing quite a lot of spray there. Down on 2 arches. Probably should have done better, but it's not really going to pay out too bad for the T's. Jzar with a nice tap to the head. But still the terrorists are falling down. 35 seconds. They have the bomb. They get a bomb plant. I mean, that's pretty much job done in this round, but it's not going to happen. As Jzar's just been put 6 foot under. Arbian may try and save this M4. I think he's got it as well. He's going to get pushed from behind. There's 2 CTs coming from B side right now. He's about to get shot in the back, and there we go. All the T's fall down. Only 1 casualty for ROCCAT. Buy-up coming from Infinity. Are they going to go for the AWP? Yes.
Will they go for 2?
Please no.
Nope, it looks like not. Okay, now, there's a saying. It's not really a saying, but it's something people say sometimes, that on Inferno especially, you cannot give up picks to a T-sided opper. It's already so easy to not give up an entry frag and force terrorists and executes, but to give up a pick to an op should never happen. And so for Jzar to make an impact with this would say a lot about him, and also would expose something in ROCCAT that I don't think they want to see in themselves. So, you know, we'll see. I mean, getting an op on T-side is something you can do, but so all too easy to avoid an op and force a team into an execute, unless it's a case that you want to play aggressive. But ROCCAT, as you saw in that last round, or as we saw, we're playing so carefully even versus pistols. Like, already are in a full passive setup and know they just have to bleed out the clock.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It's the terrorists who have to push forward, right? They have to plant the bomb at the end of the day. There's a time up there for a reason. So ROCCAT really just trying to play as passively as possible, make the T's push all of the angles and situations, and walk into the crossfire from ROCCAT. This is one of the reasons why I always found it kind of rough AWPing on T-side of Inferno, because you have to create so many opportunities. It's not like in Dust where you can spray through the, well, not spray, but tap through the doors. And that's going to help a lot. You know, as I'm saying that, the fact that Zate goes and peeks the AWP and gets fragged, I mean, those are the kind of opportunities that you're looking for. 20 seconds though, Sonny just holds down. This could be the end of the round. It's not going to be the case. Infinity do just manage to breach right through with brute force power. And after Azlac misses that AWP shot, I mean, that's pretty much going to signify the end of this round for ROCCAT. They just want to save now. Lundy's in a good position to maybe take a couple of these weapons away, get the headshot onto Azlac as he tries to retreat back to pit. He has a player in there in the form of Reflexy, Constel, and Apps. They need to save these weapons on the CT side. He spotted Lundy, gets their shot from behind, looks for the second one. Picks up the AK and tries to run away. They should be able to save at least one of these weapons, I think, and they've got an AWP as well, so that makes things a little bit better for ROCCAT.
Yeah, I mean, they gave up that op pick. Zarte just kind of peeked out into Jzar. It was a nice shot from Jzar, but they had such a good thing going. Up until that point, it was 30 seconds left. It was 19 before they actually crossed sight. And even their Spools player could have made a giant impact to lay the plant, got 2 frags, even just stayed alive and said peak Spools with no one there to crossfire, and ended up dying for free. So you lose your B players, you can't really win, even if it's even if it is 3v5, if you lose your players as terrorists are coming into the site, the rotate takes too long when you're in a passive setup to do anything about it. So all they had to do was not beat Jazar basically, and it would have been a lot harder for them to win that round. But they were relying on the two passive site guys to win, to delay, because that's all they had to do.
Yeah, and well, that takes us into 11-9 now. So Infinity, you're looking like they were struggling a tiny bit. At least get the round back in their favour. Give ROCCAT something to think about. The fact that Lundi has been taken down in naps that early on, though, it stops their two-pronged attack. Because I think what they want is Lundi to be like a pain in the backside, maybe get an entry frag. Best case scenario, maybe 2 kills, and then it kind of forces one of these CT players to potentially stick on A for a little bit longer. Right now, there is only one defender from ROCCAT onto B, but you have that sweeper player almost in the hands of Sunny. Is going to be rotating to B, while 2 terrorists occupy mid. Very slow round, as expected on Fern. That's typically the way it goes. Jazar's checking. Coming in now, first with the AWP. He wants to get a repeat performance of last round, where he managed to get that opening pick and then convert it into the bomb plant. The issue is that this time Zarte's having none of it. He's not going for the aggressive peek. He's waiting for Sunny to have the peek instead, who just gets the perfect timing onto Jazar. A good trade out for the CTs. They picked up another one. Davin, with 13 seconds, has so much to do with this bomb. He's going to be rushing on. He gets spammed from behind. He thinks it might be on new boxes. It's not the case. Going to pick up the AWP and try and retreat and save this. He's going to be running right into the embracing arms of Khan, who has tagged him one time. And also gets killed after the timer runs down. So he's going to have no economy at all either.
Yeah.
$800. Oh my goodness.
So trying to pull off the exact same play as last round, kind of fall short, as they obviously get a really good timing on that push and find that kill, and they cannot rely on being able to walk into sites every single time. They did get pretty close, and if someone was covering Spools as he was clearing site, that could have been a round for Infinity, but at the same time, ROCCAT did a really good job. And also, you know, on that round that Infinity did win, Zarte wasn't committing to like some aggressive push or anything like that. It was basically just peeking out for the exact same reason that they peeked that last round, just to get that information quickly, maybe take a shot of me. Oh, right now, just peeking right into the wow. Get both entries. That was pretty nice from Infinity. Right when the smoke goes down, I think that completely caught them off guard.
The power of entry fragging 101 from Infinity, and well, it just turns the tables almost instantly. Like ROCCAT can't do anything about that. Really, it's just one of those plays. Very very slick execution.
Yeah, I think that was nice because they know that ROCCAT are going to give up banana, and so because ROCCAT aren't throwing nades down banana, fighting for early, that they're going to just come top banana and smoke it. That they can group up for that and catch people peeking. Infinity had conditioned them into taking into late rounds so often that they wouldn't have expected less than execute, and let alone an early rush or walk explode into banana. So that was nice, keeping it fresh.
Yeah, I like that a lot. The thing is though, with ROCCAT winning the vast majority of the rounds up until that point, they can buy back up again and pretty comfortably as well with an AWP. So even though Infinity did pull off that pretty sick entry frag, well, the two of them actually combined together, it's unlikely that they'll be able to do that again. I feel like it might have been a one-off play. And now ROCCAT playing more aggressively, going for the pop flash peek, but Zarte's hit nobody with this one. He's walking into the hands of Jazar. That is a mistake. They do get the revenge frag though from Reflexy, so at least it evens itself out. But it's a 2-on-2 stack now. And if the T's just force through onto A, you'd fancy them to actually take the site itself. So Zarte, like maybe just a couple times being way too aggressive. He's 9 for 20, so he might be getting a bit like frustrated, I guess, and looking for the frags that aren't necessarily there. I can empathize with him to that extent, but as I mentioned, it looks like it is going to be a forcement to A that has given enough time for Sunny to relocate back onto Library, however. Although Infinity are getting some decent trades out, Aslak has decided to go up into the apps. It's such a difficult position to get out of from a T's perspective, unless you have someone pushing through there. So now you can see Arwin has no idea where to look. He's worried about Pit behind him. He's worried about apps. He's still looking towards Library. The bomb's been dropped. He's making a lot of noise. He tries to frantically get that bomb. Maybe he'll be able to get a plant out of this. Maybe that's best case scenario right now for him. Azlak's not on the balcony side, so this bomb will be getting planted. Here comes the flashes. Bomb planted from him. Here comes the flashback in return, though. And he just gets spammed through the box. There's really only one position he could be in there. And, well, that's going to be 12 to 11. This is going to go right down to the wire, I think.
Yeah, this is actually really, like, I really discounted Infinity's Seaside, and I see that they have some plays to be made. And that they also don't rely on their off. Like, I thought that the issue with that off play that one round was that they're going to have to, they feel like they need to rely on it just like they did on CT side, but overall it seems like their strategies go a little bit deeper than that. ROCCAT, however, I think are still doing a little bit better overall in the CT side, obviously winning most of the rounds thus far. But on the rounds that Infinity did win, pretty decisive. You know, 2 entries right off the bat and a site taken. So they were only at B, and because they're only at B, that means that ROCCAT are going to be confident in holding A, and Infinity really have to show that they will attempt to take A even if it's only on a fake, so as to not alert ROCCAT into stacking B, which would be the perfect answer to the fact that there is so much B aggression. But here we have the bottom B in control, Reflexy and Zarte looking to trade out.
So again, going aggressively, but this time we're going for the peaks instead of just playing passively up there. The trade out in favour of the terrorists. They must know that B is ripe for the taking, just push right through. Azlak has got a kill back and return. That flashbang, I think, bounced off the chimney back into the face of Jzar, but it's okay, the smoke did land. Which makes it that much more difficult for Sunny to land and connect the dots. Now, occupying construction, 2 players in there. Khan's going to be walking into the crosshair of Jzar, but he doesn't get either of those frags, and that was key. If he gets at least one of those kills, the terrorists surely just steamroll through this round. But now on a 3-on-2, it leaves the terrorists having to ponder multiple different angles. And if David can't connect one of these shots, I mean, that is pretty much the CTs being able to take this site back. Lundy's still alive, and he's still getting the frag. 25 HP on 1v3 is real. And Lundy gives Infinity the 13-11 score, but that was way too close for comfort from Infinity after getting the first 2 kills in that round.
Oh my goodness, yeah, that was really close. Lundy hitting that second shot was beautiful in that 1v3. The third one, he was obviously hurt, but just securing that round so crucial. And man, ROCCAT's B players need some work, man, because they're like not, like they're both sitting in aggressive position on banana with no nades, and they both use their smokes, and they have no one at A to cycle them. So, but they don't fall off. So I don't know whose fault it is actually. If they're A players who had 2 smokes left over, weren't cycling nades, or weren't cycling B smokes for them, why they didn't fall off, or if they just decided they wanted to stand there and take fights, which wouldn't be a good idea at all. And obviously hasn't been for the last 3 rounds.
That's exactly it, because when you watch other teams like the likes of Freiburg, whoever, pushing down banana, they always have smokes down, at least have flashes. Like, they make sure that the terrorists can't just push through and go to the 50-50 trades.
Yeah, like, you have smokes down until, like, 15 seconds left. Like, you don't even need the smoke A, really.
Yeah, exactly. So, it definitely seems like there's maybe a lack of communication or just a derpy smoke here or there. I didn't quite catch any smokes that landed over. But regardless, this is a bit better. Smoking down, but only Zarte smoke, so that will clear. There will be enough time for the terrorists to still push on 3. Meanwhile, Lundy's doing what he tried to 3 or 4 rounds ago, and that's be like the interference maker on A. He's got all the way through to pits. That's pretty huge. He has finally been taken down. Zarte with the spam through the smoke is going to do damage, and now Azlak's on the bomb. 40 seconds. He's being aggressed on from both Pyroman and David. They're both pretty low. Spray comes out. Azlak has claimed the first frag. Gets traded out, however. It's a 1-on-1. 6 HP plays 49. The bomb is planted. There's a smoke as well. This is going to be really a case of who outpositions who. David's still on that bomb. Jumping up. The flash is going to be coming through as a pop flash. Zarte, I think this may be the last position that he thinks is possible. He probably thinks it's on the other side. This is so well played from David. He can hear all of this noise. He's gone for the fake and gets the kill anyway. 10 seconds. Is there enough time? This is going to be really close.
Oh, he should have just walked around that if he wanted to win. Wait, yeah. Wow, he just had a delay for 1 more second. Oh my goodness, this is a game right here. That was a super nice play from Desmond. Just smoke it, sit on the bomb, and that's the best way to delay. I mean, you couldn't cause a peek. Well, you'd think you couldn't cause a peek because you're sitting on the bomb, so you know exactly what's going on. But, yeah, to just kill half the bomb timer by throwing a smoke on it and sitting on it was a great play. A nice attempt when you have only, so much HP. Really shouldn't have come that close, though, as a site player. Should have traded out, as Desmond got 2 kills there but ultimately it's a round on the board for ROCCAT in a situation where each round is so critical. Now, it's on ROCCAT to simply just change up their replay. All they have to do is trade more than 1 for 1, or even trade 1 for 1 in some situations, and they'll have a much better time winning rounds.
Just the thing is though that if Infinity win that round, it's 14-11, and things could be so different right now. That's going to be the thing that's going to be so demoralizing and depressing for Infinity, like knowing they were so close.
So close. I mean, that could have been their chance right there, honestly. But at the same time, it was a hero play that maybe should have never happened in the first place. So it's good to see it both ways. Infinity though on the save now. Oh, get a pick though. That's going to be scary.
Good opening pick. Arwen's down to 5 though. That's the worry.
Oh, he finds a pick for that too.
Oh, and another one! They even gets it onto Zarte, who is in the much better position. This is quickly going bad for ROCCAT. The bomb's going to get planted on B, and yes, Sunny has full HP and a couple's flashbangs, but this is a 3-on-1 that he would have never expected in a million years that he'd be playing off against. This was an eco.
I think Sunny is not even a B player, but has switched to B. And it's Infinity to actually take A this time and win it with no armor. And we'll go into the win a 14th round, which I didn't think they would come by, even going into the next rifle. And wow, this is quite a game so far. Infinity again fighting against like 20% odds, trading out really well. It's a nice lurk by Lindy to get a pick at apps, and then obviously everyone with the Tech 9s getting kills for themselves as well.
I can just imagine a lot of bettors being on the edge of their seats right now. Like, absolutely.
Sphincters are small at this point.
Yes, bricking themselves. So, Infinity, though, this is their moment. This is their moment, right? You look at the economy of ROCCAT, they have to force up. If Infinity can get this round, they're strong favourites to take this map. But it's going to be rough. There's still pistols, and honestly, on CT side, if you've got pistols with Kevlar, you can still make things happen. You can still get those cross fires into effect. They've got an M4 still on Sunny. They've got grenades as well to play with, so I'm not going to write them off just yet, but definitely if we see the trades coming in again, Infinity will be strong favourites to pick up the frags, and indeed this round. They've got an AWP in the hands of Jayzo, who's been consistently just putting down the damage. But it's Arwen, who's on 28 for 21, who's the top fragger by a considerable margin on Infinity.
Uh-oh. And it looks like it might be a B play here, as Zarte's the only one on the site. This is the round, right? Like, if Infinity don't win this round, they probably don't even win the map, like, to be real. Like, ROCCAT will have a much easier time. Oh, actually, ROCCAT are on a... Yeah, ROCCAT will have to win this round to buy again, and if Infinity win it here, they secure it. But if they don't win it...
That could be all she wrote for this map, and the trades going in the favour of the Swedes in a Scandinavian battle. The neighbouring countries really duking it out. It has been a fantastic best of 3. Very one-sided the first 2 maps, but in opposite angles, which is quite strange to say. And now this final map has been so close, but I think we're starting to see Infinity edge away. And ROCCAT, you called it. They have to win this round to buy. They know it. They have to save these weapons. There's no point going in for the heroics. Keep the M4, keep the 5.7, keep the overtime dream alive.
My goodness. Yeah, Infinity are going to win this round. Sunny's going to come away with nades and an M4, but everyone else is going to be on 5.7 armor, low nades, playing the exact same setup this round, and they barely had they got 1 kill here against Jazar. I'm shocked that Infinity are actually going to take this.
This is going to shock a lot of people. The loser of this, again, is going to be going out the tournament, ladies and gents. The winner of this goes to the lower bracket round 2 to face off against Flipside. I did double check that, so I mean that's going to be a mouth-watering prospect. Potentially Infinity against Flipside, unless ROCCAT can pull this one back. As you said, I mean, it's going to be pistols with Kevlar. They do manage to force out a Mag 7 as well as a Nova, which you can get close range. They can still do serious damage.
I mean, all Infinity have to do is... They have banana control once again. They literally just have to avoid apps, which actually they're not. Lundy is just going to be taking a fight, it looks like, up here, which is dangerous. I mean, I'm surprised the shotgun isn't up here waiting for him, but they would just have to avoid close corridors and then hit P like they're so good at... Oh, Lundy just comes out with an opening pick. Basically sealing the fate of ROCCAT. 5-on-4 now.
Yeah, that kill is absolutely massive to Infinity. The CTs, again, is Sunny, he must be getting dizzy. He has to rotate so often between A and B. And now, suddenly that's made his decision a lot easier for him. He has to go on to the A site. Jazar, I should say. I have no idea where I got that from. He's still pushing up Banana, but Sunny is going to at least get a frag back for the CTs and keep that dream alive and well for now. And all three of them are fairly healthy in terms of hit points. And Jazar is down to 22, so if they can just get a couple kills... Oh no.
They're second B.
They're rotating B, and there's 4 players coming up to A right now. It's all on Reflexy, and he's the guy with the weaker of the weapons, unless he can pull off some sick 1-deeks. It's him against the world. Is Reflexy able to hold this one off? The onslaught is about to push in. It's imminent. He can hear the smokes. He must know he's called that to the rest of his team. The AK spray coming in. Reflexy does connect the shot, but not the frag. And in the meanwhile, Sunny's also been picked off with just the Max 7. He runs in, all guns blazing, and gets shut down. Infinity caused the upset and win this best of 3, 2-1.
Oh my goodness, I have the biggest grin on my face right now. That's crazy. I really did discount Infinity's T side. I just didn't even think about it, right? I was just thinking ROCCAT better team, CT side should be easy, and Infinity, you know, seemed like, I don't know, there's a lot of bad things to say about their CT side, but then just came out swinging after losing a pistol in second half and actually won this best of 3 versus a huge favorite. Congrats to them, it's a huge win. And this allows them to stay in the pro placement, right? That's actually the lower bracket match, so...
There's so many positives to take from that. Plus, they get to play against Flipside, which is, you know, a pretty big team. That's a team that a lot of people have expected to go through to the end of this tournament, and they get more experience of playing against the likes of them. So, Infinity, yeah. I mean, really putting a name out there for themselves. Yeah, they're out. They're dead and buried at this tournament now. They will not be going through to MLG Pro Season in Season 8. That's it. They're done. Which is kind of sad to think about, because I thought they'd go much further than this.
Wrecked.
No sympathy from Launders. Wrecked. Get wrecked, scrubs. Either way, we have a couple of announcements to make before we do head on off here. Remember, there is another couple of BO3, so the CSGO action is going to continue on through the night for the NA tournament as well, which is in exactly the same position. It is the placement tournament for the Pro MLG Season 8. But registration is now open for Season 8 for CSGO here on the Pro League. Over $175,000 in prizing and travel support for you guys. A lot of money to be won, a lot of money to be had. Servers across 15 plus locations worldwide, so you'll always have a good ping. And also an extra anti-cheat from CEVO on top of VAC. Plus, there is a sick LAN coming up in November 6th to 8th in Columbus, Ohio at the MLG.TV arena. Head on over to CEVO.com/Season8 to register now and get yourself potentially in the mix for that. The other announcement to make very quickly before we head off here is that CEVO are currently looking for more casters, looking for more talent as well, behind the scenes, producers, in-game cameramen, broadcast talent, which is ultimately casters, and video editors. And that is CEVO.com/jobs for open positions. So definitely get yourself across to there. That's going to do it from us. Launders, any closing remarks before we pass on over to NA?
Oh, just congrats to Infinity. It's a big win.
It's a huge win from them.
Pop bottles.
So thanks a lot, guys, for watching. Again, stay tuned in about an hour or so. We are going to be seeing the NA best of 3s. But until then, take care of yourselves and we'll catch you next time.
See ya.